Hello. Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl Liv. It has been a while since I've done a live, and here I am with my absolutely adorable little microphone. And I'm excited to be just jumping on the stream today. If you don't know, I started a podcast, so that is why I have been not doing my fireside chats on here and live streams because I decided to upgrade the quality and the professionalism. So I now have a really awesome podcast called Meet and Monogamy, and it's on Spotify, Apple, Substack, and YouTube. So we're everywhere, and I do share little snippets here on the gram and on socials, but mostly you'll find my content elsewhere. And I've been just delighted by the response. It's so lovely to hear you listening to episodes and just reporting back from your own lives and just telling me, what's resonating, what is resonating, what is not resonating. Okay. So this was not supposed to be about the podcast. That's not why I came on today. I came on to talk about a couple of things because I'm having one of those weeks and I have so many great things have happened this week, and I've dropped something brand new called Origin. So I'm going to be speaking about that. But yeah, first of all, I wanted to just take the moment to say hello, hi. It's been a while. It's been many months. So here we are. I'm having a really great week. And one of the reasons I'm having a really great week is because I had a really amazing time with my dad yesterday. And, I posted a little video of us. And, that video just immediately makes me cry when I see it. Yeah, I've been, it's not one of the only things that's happened this week, but that was the highlight, was like yesterday I got to take my dad out. He's sadly been housebound now for quite a while. So it was a really big moment. I also did the 4th Self-Trust Masterclass. So edition 4, new format, really, really good to just keep refining that. And I also just got back into the swing. We've had a couple of weeks of like holiday vacation time. I know most people take some time off during this period, but when you're a business owner and you're a creative person, it's kind of hard to take time off around this time because it tends to be kind of right in the middle of the like flow and the creative time. So I'm so happy that the world's back to work and I can just like carry on with my business. All right. Because I'm really enjoying working right now. Okay. So I want to speak a little bit about what it is that I've just dropped into the world and why you should know about it and maybe why you should be there, why you should potentially explore coming. Okay. Hi, if you are here, say hello, say hello, because I'd love to hear from you. Okay. So if you are someone right now where you're not quite in like a crisis, like things aren't falling apart in like an awful way, but there's like something that's just like not quite right. Like you're like, something is feeling a little bit like it needs something. Like I need some kind of clarity and orientation around an element of my life or my whole life. Like this might be for you. Same if you're kind of going around in circles, like you're circling around. You're like, you keep circling. You don't really know what to do. You're just kind of like, you're like, I want to land somewhere. I want to land somewhere. Or you feel like maybe you're functioning maybe too well, right? I definitely can do this, right? You're functioning just very, very, very well. You're managing everything. Everything's kind of like smooth and like running great, but it's costing you something. Like you can feel the cost of it and you're kind of like, there's a cost here and I'm not sure whether I want to keep paying the bill, right? This might be for you if that's you. Like I want you to listen and just kind of strap in here and be like, what if like the place you're in right now, maybe it's not confusion in the way you think it is, but it's actually something else. Like, what if it's really about trust? And I talk about trust a lot these days. Like self-trust is a big, big piece of my work. And it's so interesting how that has grown because, when I came back, I came back after some time off, a sabbatical, a rethink, and I've been rebuilding. And it's so important that trust is a part of it because it's been so key to my rebuilding. And I love to and believe in, teaching what we've lived through and teaching what we know deeply in our bones. And trusting myself is something that I am deeply, deeply working with on many, many levels all the time. And I think that is so foundational. And what I find a lot with my women, either when we have our first conversation or you message me or we have our first session or we start working together, is that you are all so brilliant. I get to meet such brilliant women, and across just many diverse, like the diversity of what you're doing in the world, the diversity of where you're at in your life, right? I don't have this set kind of, oh, I only work with this kind of woman at this kind of time. I work with so many different types of women at so many different stages. And the common thread is you're moving through some kind of shift, edge, change. I call it a threshold. So some of you are just coming out of a season of your life that was a particular thing. And you're starting to pop your head up and you're okay, I'm starting to pop my head up and I'm starting to sort of, there's a shift that's already begun. And I'm in a place where I can even identify that. I'm actually poking my head up being okay, things are changing. And you don't yet know kind of what's going to emerge, what new identity is coming, but you can feel that there's going to be a process from where you are now to letting this new identity unfold and actively kind of connecting. I call it making the decision to choose to lead our lives, right? Rather than just responding to life and being kind of life's happening and we're just in response to life and it's kind of the chaos of that. There's nothing wrong with that. There are seasons in life that are so intense that we do just find ourselves in that kind of creative, it can either be creatively responding to that and being really good at managing, or you're in crisis mode. I find more often than not, my women are great responders. You're really, really good at meeting life where it's at. And actually the edge for you is okay, I have that skill. I'm really good at managing. I'm really good at my keeping everything contained, but actually I need the support, the courage to start growing and start kind of actively taking steps, actively shaping my life. That can be a bit more of an edge. Sometimes you might come to me and you might be more right in the middle of the crossing of the threshold. Sometimes you reach out to me then you're I'm kind of in the middle. I'm in it a bit blind and I'm actually needing more holding than I thought I needed. Can we explore working together? I actually think that it would be really beneficial for me to not be so alone in this, right? It's amazing. And I definitely can relate to this. The times in my life where I've tried to go through something alone without orientation and guidance, and how much harder it's been for me. Hi. Hi, Kel. So good to see you here. Yeah, let me know what's landing for you as you listen to this, right? I know that there's been times when I've just been I need more time. I need to be clearer. I need space. I need space to hear myself before I can move forward. And actually that's not what I needed. I needed to be held. I needed to trust myself. I needed to have somebody in my corner, right? I needed to be met as I was moving through the threshold, not fixed, because I wasn't a problem. I may have had some thoughts I'm a problem, I'm a mess, but actually that's not what I needed. I needed to be seen and met, and I needed someone who could really be with me in my power, as I was moving through this power spot and as things were dissolving from the old identity and kind of emerging from the new one. Okay. So notice yourself here. Are you someone who's sort of maybe in this place right now? Perhaps you're at the ending of something and you know that there's a new beginning and you want to be held through the ending of something. That's also a threshold. That's also a place in which I work with women. When things are ending, how do you get support through that? Again, we tend to raw dog the end sometimes, right? And we raw dog the end, and then it can be confusing, and we think we're really confused as to what's happening, but actually sometimes it's like, no, maybe you just needed more support, right? Like, I'm such a big proponent of support, the right kind of support at the right time. So I am like laying this on thick right now, because I want those of you that are in that space to know you are deserving of being supported and guided and held through these things. I know that for a fact. And it's a place where you have to start believing that at a certain point. Like, in order to choose to start like actively growing and shaping your life, you have to choose at some point, I'm going to have to be more supported as I go through this. I'm going to need reflection. I'm going to need containment. I'm going to need a structure. Okay. And that's where I come in, or a coach like me comes in. Like, you have somebody in your corner that can help sort of contain the process. Okay. So I have been, as you know, just to give you a little bit of the backstory, I've been rebuilding my business, and the framework and the body of work that I am building is called the Ecology of Sustainable Power. So how it works is I work with women, and we first start off with clarity, finding clarity. Where are you? Orienting yourself. That is what is known as the deep dive currently. So if you've been kind of like circling my work, you're like, okay, what is it? The deep dive is the clarity. We get clarity. Where are you? Right. And there I give recommendations. This is what I would recommend based on my viewpoint of where you are and my work, what I would recommend we focus on in our work. Okay. The second part of the process, of the sustainable power process, is called the restoration process. This is where we work with rebuilding your sense of self, rebuilding your sense of self-trust. This is really, really powerful. And this is known as the comeback container. So some of you have taken the comeback container. It's like the first step. And this is so powerful. Restoration, restoring you back to something like the original form of something. Okay. So restoration is super, super powerful. And I have seen really incredible things happen in, honestly, relatively short space of time. This is like a 3-month process at the beginning, and so much can shift for a woman in that process. Okay. And then the third part of the process is the stewardship part of the process. You start trusting yourself, and you start like feeling that sense of that foundation, that internal foundation is stronger, right? There's like an internal power that you're connected to. Naturally, when there's a steady foundation in your life, things are going to start growing. Things are going to want to start coming through. Green shoots are going to want to start coming through. That is the stewardship phase, that self-leadership phase. That's where, like, okay, things are starting to move and grow. You're trusting yourself more. Okay, like, how are we guiding what's trying to grow? And so that part of the process is named the continuation. So we have the deep dive into the comeback, into the continuation. And this is currently a 6-month process that I'm offering. And I've shifted it and evolved it into a 6-month process, because I'm like, it needs to be a 6-month process. Like, that is just what's become super clear. Okay. So we have clarity, restoration, and stewardship. Okay. And so I have created Origin. So Origin is, even before the first step, Origin is the first step. And so Origin is a 3-hour live experience that I'm offering. It's a group experience. It's also going to be available as an evergreen purchase. So it will be, I'll run it, and I will run it live, and I will work with the people that come, and I'll be able to offer you the framework. And then it will be available for something to purchase. So if you're interested in the deep dive and you're not quite ready for the deep dive, you can take Origin first. And Origin's going to be like a really powerful experience for you to orient yourself. Okay. So in Origin, I'm going to be leading you through my 3-part process, the Ecology of Sustainable Power. I'm going to give you a taste of the 3 steps: clarity, restoration, and stewardship. So you're going to get a real immersion in some of the amazing powerful tools and teachings that I'm offering in my 6-month container, you're going to get a taste of that at the very beginning, right? And you're going to get a taste of like how that framework and that model applies to something in your life, right? So if there's something in your life right now, a decision you're circling, something you feel stuck with, a pattern that you just can't seem to shake, like this is amazing for Origin. It's also amazing if you like, there's something you want to build in the world. You're feeling like a shift, maybe in an evolution, maybe in your work, maybe in your identity. You can feel like something is shifting and changing, and it's like bring it to Origin. Origin is where we'll work with it, and we'll apply the process to whatever that is, and you're going to walk away with some real clarity and some real clear next steps. Right? It's designed to be deep, immersive, and also practical, right? So you can actually like, walk away with something pretty tangible. Okay. So if you come live to Origin, I will get to work with you. You will get to experience my coaching, my holding, my space design. You will get to be like super immersed in my, like what it's like to come into my work. And so it's a great step, whether you're brand new and you've like never worked with me before and you're feeling super drawn, you don't know why, but you're like, I kind of think this might be for me. Or you're like on the fence, you're like, I don't know. Like you don't need to be ready. The point is that the point is you're ready to make a choice to step in. Orientation is the point. Like we will orient you when you're there. Okay. So, Origin is there was something else I wanted to share about this. Yeah. So if you come live, you'll get to work with me. You'll get to experience, what it's like. You'll get to experience direct like feedback in real time. If you can't come live, it is available also as a replay. It will be designed in a way that it's going to be like an evergreen offer. So you can take yourself through the process. Obviously, you're going to get the most juice and the most probably impact by coming live, because you'll get like my eyes directly on it, on the thing that you want us to work with. I'm really excited about this. I was sharing a story about, my own journey and, where has this all come from? And I really believe in kind of often the thing that we're kind of like working with over and over again in our lives, like the kind of pattern that we can't seem to shake, the place where we continually get stuck. I see that as like there's an original thread for us to attend to that's like super key in how we live our lives and how we ultimately it's like a process of I would phrase this like there's a process of it's like these places where there's tons of stagnant power. And that's why I call it the ecology of sustainable power, because I'm not interested in offering something to the world where you get these like bursts of power and you can't hold it. That's why I've designed a 6-month process, because, we want to get clarity. Okay, what do we do with that clarity? We create containment around it and we create a process around it. Okay, what happens when you are in the immersion of self-trust? What happens when you are encouraged again and again and again to practice trusting yourself, to view some of the problems that are coming up, like through the lens, okay, well, what would be different if you trusted yourself? What happens when you start becoming somebody that trusts themselves more? Okay, you start to gain confidence in your leadership. You start to feel desire for creation come online. You start to feel like a true next step emerging. It's not forced. Okay. And so when you do start leading and creating and building, there's this strong foundation of your personal relationship underneath it. So it's more sustainable and it's maybe steadier and slower, but it means that you can hold it. You can hold all the power you're cultivating. Okay. And I really care about that. I have lived this in my own journey over the last couple of years as I've been holding myself, being held by some of my coaches and teachers that I've hired to support me in this transitional period. I have really optimized for that. I've really optimized for people that slow me down and bring me back to like what's happening today. I've really optimized for kinds of leadership and coaching that just has me like repeating, and what is repeatable and workable versus like these big grand visions that I can't sustain and hold just yet, right? It's really kept me in a very powerful, humble place, and things are really growing organically. Okay. So the process that I'm holding my clients through is the process I'm holding myself through, right? This is what I work with. I work with sustainable power, right? It's what I do, and it's what I do for you. Okay. So if you are like, hell yes, Origin is for me, then you can sign up in my bio. It's £55 to join the event. And it is like just one payment of £55. There is an opportunity to also purchase the deep dive if you want the next step after that at checkout. There's a little bit of a gifted discount for anybody that comes to Origin or buys the replay. You will get a little bit of a gift off the deep dive. So if you want to do two birds together because you're like clear you want both, you can do both. But, for those of you that are like, Origin is the next step, take that next step. Sign yourself up. Block the calendar. Next Sunday, 4 till 7 British summer time. So that is 11 till 2 Eastern. And then please convert your time zone because my calculations just left my brain. Okay, I can't wait to have you, and please let me know if you have any questions, and I will be sharing about Origin on the daily for the next 10 days or so. So get prepared if you're like not fully over the line just yet, but you're curious, stay tuned because there's more to come. Okay. All right. Love you so much. Thank you, everyone.